Hello, NetSuite TV viewers. My name is Cecchini. I'm the planning and budgeting team here at NetSuite. I'm joined by Aaron and Lucas from Edgewood. We're going to be talking about how their company maximizes forecasting with NetSuite Planning and Budgeting. Aaron, Lucas, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's great. So, Aaron, I want to talk to you first. You're the CFO, and I understand Edgewood pretty much started out as a cattle ranch in the 1800s. How do you become a premier resort and golf course now?
Yeah, that's right. Great. We started in the late 1890s as a cattle company. What a great place for cattle to roam, right next to Lake Tahoe. We built a golf course in 1968, and from there grew out the company. We're number 86th in the nation as far as public courses rated. And we built our lodge in 2017, 154 rooms, 4-star rated lodge that we are very proud of, and once we're ranked number 1 in the US as far as hotel properties. We also own other things. We have some real estate. We also own a cool property. It's called the White House. It's the old Pony Express.
Oh, really?
For that, and we have a water company. So we're pretty diverse and lots of different angles of revenue.
That's pretty amazing. So, have you always been in the hospitality industry yourself? I know there's a lot of complexities, so I want to talk to you about that. But what's your background really in this business?
Yeah, I have over 25 years of experience in hospitality. I have my degree right here from UNLV in hospitality. Spent many years of it in gaming, which was complex as far as that goes. But yeah, all hospitality for me in my career.
Okay. So, and Lucas, you're the director of finance, is that right?
Correct.
Yep.
So how did you join Edgewood, and what's some of your background as well?
Yeah, I originally started off in finance and investment management, and found the opportunity to move to Lake Tahoe. So I switched over into the hospitality industry and worked for one of the largest gaming companies in the world, kind of where we're sitting now. So I was there before I went to Edgewood, so 12 years in gaming before the last 3 years at Edgewood.
Okay. So about the forecasting process, how your company uses NetSuite Planning and Budgeting. I mean, in the hospitality, there is a lot of complexities, right? Occupancy, cost per guest. I mean, talked about some of how planning and budgeting has helped with that particular process and those complexities specifically.
Yeah, for sure. We used a lot of KPIs to be built out right away so we could use those in our forecasting models. From average daily rate, occupancy, cost per occupied room, average covers for the food and beverage. So we use a lot of different KPIs with that. And of course, over the last 2 years, we've forecasted and forecasted. As some may know, obviously COVID in 2020, but in 2021, we just were shut down for fires. We had to evacuate the property. And with this, Lucas and his team has done a great job of forecasting left and right. And 2020, you spent once a week reforecasting, rechanging.
Wow.
And so we were really on top of it. We went through a refinance with our bank debt in 2020 as a hospitality company, which no lenders was doing that, but it was great work with the forecasting that we were able to provide enough data to get the bank comfortable.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of customers actually doing a lot more modeling today, especially over the last year and a half. So, I mean, your day-to-day in this process itself, expand on some of Aaron's, talking about those complexities. I mean, on the ground floor with the people you're working with at the company, how has this tool really helped you? You're doing this day to day, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And, being hospitality, I consider it a variety of industries within that. So you have food and beverage, we have golf, we have a water company, we have hotel. So all those different parts of the business require different metrics and understanding that. And particularly, as Aaron had mentioned, when we were shut down during COVID and when we were evacuated for a fire, we needed some of that financial information right at our fingertips to give to the bank to reassure that everything's in a stable place. And just having that dynamic ability to say, hey, maybe this isn't the metric I need today, I can build a new one and use that for forecasting based on what's going on at the time.
So a lot of other customers tell me, their time to model out, get to results is really a benefit of the planning and budgeting application. And you've used spreadsheets before, you've built those models. I mean, is there any way you can kind of quantify like how much time it's actually saving you, or even kind of like we can get our results in this much less time compared to spreadsheets?
Yeah, I would say, for example, just in our budgeting process right now is we usually start it in about August and would finish in December. And a lot of that is crunching spreadsheets, iterations of spreadsheets. And I would say even in this 2022 budget process, we're 90% of the way done with our budget, and it can reduce that time down by several months. So it's
Wow.
really the value add of, all right, how do I just true up the remainder of the year or change for a different dynamic that we didn't expect going into 22?
Right. And was there I mean, it's probably tough to say, but is there a favorite feature that you might have of the planning application? Something that you just potentially couldn't live without?
As much as we try to get away from spreadsheets, I think the Smart View add-in for planning and budgeting is great because it's on the fly. You can do ad hoc analysis and send it off to someone quick. Secondly, I would say just the month-end process of reporting, having different reports. We have, you have operator P&Ls. They want to look at reports one way versus a board who would want to look at a report a different way.
Right.
So just having that ability to create those reports and have them there on the fly.
So Aaron, there's a lot of customers out there today that are considering, a planning and budgeting tool. What would you tell somebody, something they should look out for, or how they should approach this in general? Maybe another CFO.
Yeah, great question. I would give them two recommendations. One, I think it is critical, the Smart View that Lucas just talked about. I think that is critical for operations teams. You don't have to go in and reteach them how to use Excel. And you got it right in Smart View, right? Upload, download into PBCS. It's straightforward with that. The other thing that I would look for is flexibility. Like right now, we're running two different forecasts for 2021 to compare our 2022 budget. So we have two different models that we flip-flop back and forth, trying to make sure that we're getting the best budget that we can get out there for 2022.
Yeah.
So
I've talked to a lot of customers today about those aspects and how they can improve those processes. It always seems to be one of the tougher areas to kind of get the finance teams, executives to actually kind of pull the trigger and move forward with something like this, because you already have a team in place that's built to do this, but those efficiencies you can get, especially out of the spreadsheet Smart View that we were talking about, really can provide some efficiencies and become more strategic in that planning process. So, I was reading a little bit about Edgewood actually. I think you have a golf tournament there. I think Tony Romo's won it a couple of times.
yeah, in July we actually have the celebrity golf tournament. Tony Romo's won it a couple times.
So pretty cool things, though. I mean, I've heard that Mark Twain wrote part of his books at the Pony Station, if I'm not mistaken. It's an old Pony Express stop as
Correct.
well. So a lot of history at the organization, at this resort as well. So, and it's never bad to live in Lake Tahoe, right?
No. We were grateful this year. We got to have a chance to have the NHL come do their outdoor game with that. So that was fun too. We now have a disc in the middle of the 18th fairway where the center ice was.
That's very nice. So, one thing that I do want to ask you about, because I have some customers that maybe have 2 or 3 people that use planning and budgeting, and I've got other customers that have 40 to 50 people. I mean, how many people are actually part of your process that are contributing to it as well?
I guess I'll answer that 2 parts. There's only a few of us that have access to planning and budgeting. That's just really because we're a small company. So there's really 4 of us in finance that have that access. But really we have probably 50 departmental managers that are part of the budgeting process and utilize those templates that are designed out of Smart View. And then we just upload them as a finance department.
So is this a tool that you would consider as best for small companies, or do you think it's good for larger companies as well?
I think it ranges the spectrum. Like I said, I used to work for Caesars Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
And it was the foundation of the planning and budgeting process there with 30 properties and 50,000 employees. So it's down to to us as a smaller operation. It works just as equally well, if not better.
Okay. And industry specific? I mean, it seems like I've talked to a lot of customers that are in different industries. It's not really a niche product for any specific industry, but it does kind of traverse all of those different types of industries that we see here at NetSuite.
Agreed, and that's what I love about the product is I can create whatever KPIs I want in the system, and they're there, and they upload, they calculate, so they're there to whatever industry you're in.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate your time today. On that note, I want to thank both Aaron and Lucas for joining us on NetSuite TV today, and it's great talking with you, and thanks again for having us.